So, this is going to be my political section video. I just got a new carpet. Oh, it's not new, it's actually old. I just cleaned it and dried it out over the last few days. Yeah, that's my bed. So, the matters at hand, the matters at hand. Well, I'm going to get started by saying this. Death to Muhammad Elijah, peace be upon him. Now, if you're offended by that, then you should probably end this video, because things aren't going to get better. There has been a beheading in France. The French are a highly secular nation. They believe in a fierce separation of state and church. They were one of the earliest founders and proponents of the freedom of speech movement. If they didn't found it, they certainly propagated it in their land and abroad. The idea that one of their teachers, their civil servants, could be beheaded in broad daylight on the streets for just doing his job by an 18-year-old at the behest of a cabal of parents who knew nothing but their own children's tantrums. And they were children's tantrums at not being able to fully grasp the concept of freedom of speech in a country that separates the state from the church. Those Muslims who were angry no doubtably came from a nation that did not have the separation of state and church. It is said that there's 57 Muslim nations in the world, and that every single one of them has Sharia law in one way or another. When migrants and immigrants, when they go to different countries, if they cannot conform to the standard that is there, then they should not be there. Now, the best way I'm going to phrase this, if I was to go to North Korea, upon entry I'd be forced to commit an act of worship by laying a bouquet of flowers at the feet of a statue of one of the dear leaders. I would then be requested to kneel and bow to the dear leader for a full minute to complete the act of worship. The reason why I'm mentioning North Korea in a video about the separation of state and church and freedom of speech, well, North Korea is the oldest, technically it's the only necro-monarchy that exists. See, in the brainwashed mind of a North Korean, Kim Il-sung, though his body is consigned to the ground, they believe him to be a god, just like they believe Kim Il-jong and his father before him. They are a necro dynasty, believing and still abiding under the law of their corpse god. So, North Korea, just like the 57 Muslim nations of this world, do not believe in separation of state and church. Now, why would I put North Korea right besides Islamic countries? Well, essentially, they're one and the same. They are one and the same. If I wanted to live in an Islamic country, I would only need to go to North Korea. If I can't get into North Korea, but experience the same feeling of oppression and subjugation, I would only need to go to an Islamic country. Islam is a religion of an idol. Allah is a rock, a single stone. By all logic and reasoning, They have adopted and stolen from Judaism, from Christianity, to some extent even used the Lord's own name. It is nothing more than a complex and highly devised tool of indoctrination and brainwashing. And that's just my opinion. Islam is a lie. Muhammad Elijah is the false prophet. Peace be upon him.